A turning point for the Constitution, a referendum, or a step backward? Hello and welcome. As you know, Bangladesh held its 13th national parliamentary elections yesterday. While it took some time for the full picture to emerge, the counting began immediately after polls closed. The early numbers show a clear lead for the BNP, Bangladesh Nationalist Party, a political party with a 50-year history. Out of the 299 seats contested, the BNP is currently leading in about 213 to 214 seats. It is safe to say they are on track for a major victory. On the other hand, the 11-party alliance led by Jamaat-led, which includes newer groups born out of the August student protests, hasn't seen the impact they expected. According to our latest sources, this alliance is leading in only about 72 to 73 seats. While final results won't be official until tomorrow, the Election Commission is already posting these tallies on their boards. A notable highlight, the chairman of the BNP is leading by a massive margin in the Dhaka 17 constituency. Meanwhile, the leader of the Jamaat alliance is also leading in Dhaka 13. To dive deeper into these results, we go to our chief reporter Satyajit Mukhopadhyay live in the newsroom. Satyajit, welcome. My question is, given the rise of extremist and communal rhetoric leading up to this election, it seems the people of Bangladesh have rejected that path. The numbers for the Jamaat alliance are quite low. Also, there are rumors regarding the current interim government led by Muhammad Yunus. They are supposed to hand over power to the winning party. Is there any evidence of a conspiracy or a power struggle behind the scenes? What are you hearing? Satyajit, reporter. You're absolutely right. The results show that the people of Bangladesh have directly rejected extremism. For the past 2 years, we've covered the undercurrents of radical groups like Jamaat-e-Islami, Hizb-ut-Tahrir, and Chhatra Shibir, warning how dangerous their combined influence could be. But today, the people in the capital city, Dhaka, have spoken. They want a traditional political party in power. By bringing the BNP, the country's second-largest party, back to power, they are choosing stability. However, there is an alarming piece of information we must share. Despite their setbacks, the Yunus syndicate hasn't given up. While Muhammad Yunus remains at the official residence, Jamuna Bhavan, there are whispers of a blueprint or a hidden plan that needs to be exposed. Debashish, as we watch the national election results, we must also tell our viewers about another parallel development, the talk of a referendum. Key terms for context. BNP, the main center-right political party. Jamaat-e-Islami, a major faith-based or conservative political party. Muhammad Yunus, the Nobel laureate who has been leading the temporary or interim government. August movement refers to the massive student-led protests that recently changed the country's political landscape. The blueprint to overthrow the Constitution? A secret plan revealed. The reporter is alleging that while the national election was happening, a secret Plan B was being executed by Muhammad Yunus and the Jamaat-e-Islami party to fundamentally rewrite the laws of Bangladesh. 1. The Plan B referendum. The report claims that under the guise of the July uprising, Yunus prepared a blueprint to scrap the original 1972 constitution. While people were voting for a new government, they were also asked to vote yes or no in a referendum. The goal? To replace the current secular constitution with one that favors hardline Islamist ideologies. 2. Foreign funding and secret meetings. The reporter alleges that the leader of the Jamaat party, Dr. Shafiqur Rahman, traveled to Qatar, Turkey, Pakistan, and the United States before the election. It is claimed he met with U.S. senators and the current ambassador in Dhaka. The report suggests bags of cash from abroad were intercepted at airports, implying the election and the blueprint were funded by foreign interests to bring extremists to power. 3. Rigging the system, the shadow army. The investigation claims the system was rigged from the inside. The Ansar force, over 3,000 Jamaat members were allegedly placed within this 500,000-strong paramilitary force. The weapons, A high-ranking official allegedly purchased 32 automatic shotguns from Turkey specifically to suppress the opposition if the plan met resistance. The software. The Yunus administration reportedly bought a foreign software called ABIMS to help pro-Jamaat workers manipulate the voting process on the ground. The 180-day power grab. Here's the catch. Even though the BNP, the opposition, won a landslide, the blueprint creates a legal trap. If the referendum to scrap the old constitution is declared a yes, the newly elected officials cannot take power for 180 days, or 6 months. During this 6-month gap, a new constitution would be written. This would allow Muhammad Yunus to remain in power indirectly and eventually position himself to become president under the new rules. The conclusion. The report concludes that while the people voted for democracy and the return of Tariq Rahman, BNP leader, after 17 years, a conspiracy in the waters of the Padma River is still at play. By trying to scrap the 1972 Constitution, the reporter argues that Yunus is committing an act of sedition or treason against the state. Key terms for Americans. The 1972 Constitution. Think of this as the Bill of Rights or the original foundation of the country. Scrapping it is a massive deal. The Yunus Syndicate, the term used by the reporter to describe the interim government's inner circle. Stuffing the ballot. The reporter mentions chapa vote, which translates to ballot stuffing or fraudulent voting. Slogan. The Jamaat slogan mentioned, Allah above, scales below, uses religious imagery to tell voters that voting for their symbol, the scales, is a religious duty. The shadow play. Will Bangladesh trade democracy for Sharia law? The core allegation. Plan B. The reporter, Satyajit, claims that while the world was watching the parliamentary elections, a hidden Plan B was in motion. He alleges that Muhammad Yunus intends to scrap the 1972 Constitution, the country's secular foundation, and replace it with a Sharia-based constitution. By doing this through a yes-no referendum, Yunus could theoretically stay in power as a powerful president, bypassing the newly elected parliament for at least 6 months. Key highlights from the discussion. 1. Evidence of voter fraud. The report shows actual footage from a Bangladeshi TV station. In the video, a reporter confronts a polling official who is pre-signing and stamping stocks of referendum ballots before voters even arrive. The official's excuse, "We're doing it early to avoid crowds later." The reality, the reporter points out the room is empty. These pre-signed ballots are allegedly being used to ensure the yes vote, to scrap the Constitution, wins by a landslide. 2. India's perspective, the lesser of two evils. Military expert Deeptangshu Chowdhury explains the strategic stakes for India. The threat. India is worried about extremist forces, Jamaat-e-Islami, gaining ground. There are fears that under Yunus, groups like the ISI, Pakistan's intelligence, and even the CIA have created a template to destabilize India's northeastern states. The verdict. India views the BNP, the winning party, as the lesser of two evils. While the BNP has a history of being anti-India, it is seen as a stable political choice compared to the radical Islamist alternative. India's Prime Minister has already reached out to the BNP leadership to maintain a working relationship. The third, the deep state plot. The experts suggest that Yunus doesn't actually want to hand over power. Instead, he is using the July Charter, born from the student protests, to create a new legal framework that makes him the ultimate authority, effectively becoming a dictator via constitution. Simple terms for context. 72 Constitution, the original secular rules of the game for Bangladesh. Scrapping it is like the US trying to throw out the Bill of Rights. Sharia Constitution, a system of government based strictly on Islamic law. The Seven Sisters. This refers to India's northeast states. India fears that if Bangladesh becomes unstable or radicalized, it will cause chaos in these neighboring Indian regions. Presiding officer, the person in charge of a specific voting location.